The Office will likely stay on Netflix for a very long time, despite a recent viral hoax claiming otherwise. As long as you have a Netflix subscription, you'll be able to watch The Office over and over again like many subscribers seem to be doing. But if you're an obsessed fan who has already watched the show and still wants to check out something new, you might not know where to start. You could begin by heading to the Streamline list of related recommendations, but maybe you specifically want those Office actors to still be in your life. This roundup includes the best shows and movies, and a comedy special that feature main cast members from The Office. Movies with poor reviews like The Clapper and License to Wed, which star Ed Helms and Krasinski respectively, don't make the list. Also worth noting is that movies that only briefly feature an actor from The Office, such as the founder and other people, also aren't on the list. Still, there are plenty of options, if you really need these familiar faces on your screen again. And if you want to stay informed about what shows are coming to Netflix every week, make sure to subscribe to the Streamline newsletter, The Office, on Netflix. This is part of Streamline, HuffPost's weekly recommendation service for streaming shows and movies. Every Saturday, Streamline ranks the best shows to watch online, including a specific focus on Netflix. The 40-Year-Old Virgin movie, The 40-Year-Old Virgin, on Netflix. Steve Carell stars in this, but Mindy Kaling also makes an appearance. In a very loose sense, the plot of this movie isn't too far from the character arc of Michael Scott. In both, Carell stars as a clueless man with sophomoric tendencies that struggles to earn respect. Ultimately, this character becomes a lovable doof you root for. Runtime, 1 hour, 56 minutes. Seth Rogen's Hilarity for Charity comedy special, Seth Rogen's Hilarity for Charity, on Netflix. Craig Robinson is the band leader for this special. The jokes are more sexual and explicit than The Office ever was, even if the NBC show had its fair share of dick jokes. Runtime, 1 hour, 10 minutes. Walk Hard movie, Walk Hard, on Netflix. Jenna Fischer stars in this, and Ed Helms and Craig Robinson make appearances. This period piece doesn't have many similarities to The Office on face value, but the comedic sensibilities are similar. If you think The Office is funny, then you'll probably like this too. Runtime, 1 hour, 36 minutes. Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt show, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, on Netflix. Ellie Kemper stars in this. She wasn't exactly a main character in The Office, but this great Netflix show is worthy of inclusion. Unbreakable and The Office have many similarities. Kemper's character is Michael Scott-esque. She's incredibly out of touch and makes jokes based on performative slapstick comedy that surrounding characters don't always appreciate, even if viewers do. This show also has 100 jokes a minute, kind of like The Office. Unlike The Office, though, this show has gotten better with every season, so if you gave it a chance early on and didn't like it, consider starting again with Season 4. Runtime, 3.5 seasons with approximately 30-minute episodes. Promised Land movie, Promised Land, on Netflix. John Krasinski stars as an antagonist hero to the morally corrupt protagonist played by Matt Damon. This isn't the best movie, but it's the best Krasinski thing that isn't The Office, on Netflix. And this list would seem incomplete without at least one Krasinski show or movie. Promised Land received more good reviews than bad ones, but don't go into watching this and expecting great things. Runtime, 1 hour, 46 minutes. Luther show, Luther, on Netflix. Idris Elba stars in this series. Perhaps, it is true that Elba didn't exactly star in The Office, but his time as Michael Scott's antagonist was so memorable that an Elba project seemed worthy of inclusion. This show about a grizzled detective has a cult following. Elba's character has many existential moments grappling with humanity while investigating murders. It's definitely not funny like The Office, but again, it stars Idris Elba. And he was briefly on The Office, so maybe check it out. Runtime: 4 short seasons with approximately 1-hour episodes. Shimmer Lake movie. This movie stars Rainn Wilson and a handful of other comedians trying more serious roles. Another option that isn't exactly funny, even if it stars funny people. Also another option that isn't exactly great, like Promised Land, even if it's still good. Wilson plays a bank robber that has to evade his brother, the local sheriff. The plot unfolds in reverse. Runtime: 1 hour, 23 minutes. Parks and Recreation show. Rashida Jones is one of the stars in this ensemble. Mike Schur co-created this. Schur played Mose on The Office, and wrote for and produced the show. This is by far the most obvious choice on the list. The show is already very popular, and the story unfolds in the same faux documentary style as The Office. At one point, the creators of Parks were even going to make the show an official spin-off from The Office. But if you're somehow a huge fan of The Office, we're Team Karen and have never checked out Parks and Rec, then do so now. Runtime: 7 seasons with approximately 22-minute episodes. Related: 5 Netflix shows to watch if you like The Office, 5 Netflix shows to watch if you like The Crown, 5 Netflix shows to watch if you like The Walking Dead. Download